everyone, and welcome to story number 16 out of the 25 stories out of the book 25 Stories I Would Tell My Younger Self. And for those of you that have read the 16th story, the 16th story is called The Marathon Story. And you basically know, if you see the pictures, then you know that I have no background in marathon running or in marathon cycling. But through a fitness studio that I went to during my medical studies, I started to do a 24 hours spinning class marathon. So that means you're on a bike for 24 hours non-stop, and I actually achieved to do that. And it was really, really tough to do, and I was pretty amazed that I actually could set it through. But what I learned during those 24 hours was how important the mindset is. And I think for many people, it's totally underestimated how powerful the mind is. And what I want to do now is I want to give you some really powerful tips that I took away from there and that I apply to every day today. And I feel this is one of the key lessons that I ever learned. How it works is, imagine it like this. Your mind is like a vessel, and that vessel is on an ocean. And the ocean is basically the information and all the stuff that is around us. Now, a vessel is going to be on top of the ocean and it's going to float. It's going to be really awesome. But if there's one little crack in this vessel, water is going to seep through and the vessel is going to drown. Now, this is the same thing with our mind. And how this works is this way. If you read the book, you know that I was cycling. I was hour 16, 17. It was going really well. I had 8-9 hours to go. And suddenly, I had a little bit of a negative mindset coming in. And within 5 minutes, my entire body started to shut down. I started to get really weak and slow, and I just couldn't push it through anymore. This happened within a couple of minutes, just because of one negative mindset that I put in. Now, what happens in our daily environment? I don't know. Are you watching the news? Are you reading negative or positive things? Are you watching horror movies? Are you watching depressing things? Are you listening to depressing things? Who are the people around you? Are they trying to push you down? Or are these people trying to lift you up? So, what I want to tell you is, I'm going to give you some tips from my own life. For example, many people, when they wake up in the morning, they read the newspaper. Or they go today online and they watch or read online what happened to the news. Well, guess what? What are the news? The news are 99% negative. Why? It's very simple. Because negative news sell a lot easier than positive news. So most of these newspaper channels, they sell negative things. So one thing I had to do was change my habit from reading those negative things. It was quite a challenge at the beginning, but I knew this was important for me to do those things. The second thing was listening to the radio. Many people listen to the radio, and that's absolutely okay. But whenever the news come on, turn off the radio and switch to something else. So what's better? Well, if you wake up in the morning, best thing, and you want to read something in the morning, either you go on websites where there's only positive news, or you read a book or you read something that's easy to read and is positive. For example, to me today, every day I wake up in the morning, I study or I read Spanish or Chinese things. So I want to read positive things. I want to embrace myself with positive stuff. I don't listen to the radio at all. I love to listen to podcasts. I love to listen to good music. I love to listen to great audiobooks. Why? Because I know how important it is to surround myself with positive and constructive thoughts. This is so important. And I think many people underestimate the power of how these thoughts affect our entire work. So, are you going to miss out because you don't know what's happening on a daily basis? Absolutely not. If you don't work in a job where you need to stay up to date, for example, let's say you work on the stock market, then chances are you need to know what's going on a daily basis. But for most of you, it's absolutely irrelevant. Then what I do is I love to read, for example, what happened over the last 6 months in more of a summary or an entire year. I read back on that. Why? Because of course it is interesting to know what's going on, and you don't want to be like more of an outlander being totally somewhere else. Makes sense. So no newspaper in the morning, no radio. Now here's one of the last killers that really destroys a lot of the mindset. television and TV shows. Now here's the thing. Many of those television updates, news reports, TV shows, they depict a total wrong environment. For example, those real life soap opera kind of style things, they are an absolute drama for you because if you watch those things, you have a total wrong impression of reality. The same with the news. It's always in one direction. So what is the solution? Well, the solution is subscribe to some really awesome YouTube channels. For example, my one. I'm just kidding. Of course, I would love you to subscribe to mine, but there's so great other YouTube channels out there where you get some massive value from. And if you do that, you will get 2 to 3 hours of TV per day that, by the way, you shouldn't watch. Try to limit your TV to 25 or 30 minutes, and that includes YouTube. But if those 25 or 30 minutes are high value, for example, I love watching science shows. I love to watch entrepreneurial shows. I love to watch knowledge shows. Why? Because that's what I really like. And I'm sure you also have certain interests. Maybe that's sports. Maybe that's, for sure. So that's what I do. For example, I love watching NBA. I'm a big basketball fan. So what do? I am subscribed to the NBA, and 2 to 3 times a week, I do spend 2 hours watching NBA. That's what I do, but I don't have negative news on there. I have great and fun stuff, and you can do the same thing. So what is the mindset story all about? Just like me doing a 24-hour cycling marathon, everything starts in the mind and goes down to your body. So you can do the same thing in your everyday life, and you should. It starts with no TV, no radio, no negative newspaper, no horror movies. I know that's a big cry out for many people, but cut down on the horror movies. Watch funny shows, watch great shows, empowering shows, shows that motivate you. Watch Shark Tank, for example. Why? Well, it's not 100% reality, but it's going to inspire you to be entrepreneurial. So I hope you get some massive value out of today's shows. If yes, drop me a message, drop me an email, leave me a comment below. I would love to have your feedback. And if you don't want to share this publicly, send it to me in person. I would love to hear what you have to say to me, what you would love more, what you would love less to see. And drop me a quick message on Facebook. My handle everywhere is 25 Stories. So it's at 25 Stories. That's on Facebook, here on Periscope, that's on literally anywhere. Would love to get your feedback. Follow me here on YouTube, and that would be great to know. So head over. We also have a newsletter if you go to 25stories.org, where I share some really nice value bumps with you. I give you some of the Julian's high five. Would love to see you there. Hope you get value. See you tomorrow for day 17 out of this series all the way to the 25th story. Have a wonderful day. Cheers. Thanks for watching in. Bye-bye, Julian.